Hey yo, it's me again. I just saw a very interesting video on YouTube. I'm streaming right now, actually. But I saw a very interesting video on YouTube, and I thought everybody needs to see that video. Actually, it's kind of funny, cause I think I don't know how. Like, I know a lot of people consider Dave Chappelle to be a comedic genius. I've said this before. I really don't. He's funny, but I think there are funnier people, and one of those funny people is Bernie Mac, and we're gonna talk about racism a little bit. We're gonna talk about racism a little bit because I believe that the reason why Bernie Mac was not put to the forefront is because he was too black. He was unapologetic, not too black. He was unapologetically black, which means he wasn't afraid of being himself, right? And he paid the cost for that. Yes, he had a TV show. Yes, he had this, he had that. He appeared in Ocean's 11, but mind you, every time Bernie Mac was on TV, he didn't get a chance to do his bits. So most of the time where Bernie Mac was on TV or on a movie or in a movie, it was for the money. It was for a paycheck. And it gives you notoriety and views and well, not views, but there's a word for that, and I keep forgetting my words. I need to read more. Um, but you know what I mean. It makes you be out there. It helps you being out there. So if you notice, I'm not saying in all the movies that was the case. Especially if you're looking at movies that are predominantly black. Yeah, he got to do his thing in there, more or less, more or less. You know. So, anyways, I feel like the character that is called Dave Chappelle has replaced Bernie Mac. I think the character of Dave Chappelle is actually a psyops operation to replace Bernie Mac. Now, Bernie Mac might be aware of this, and most people might not be aware of this. But I feel like that is what happened. I feel like Dave Chappelle replaced Bernie Mac because Bernie Mac was gaining traction. He was coming up. He was coming up, and you have to put. It's a normal thing to replace a person instead of just eliminating the person because you have to fill the void, right? Because if Bernie Mac had just died, simply just died off, right? Like, let's say he was just put to the side, the occasion in the conversation to call out racism would have been more prevalent. Why? Because there's not that many black comedians. Or maybe there are black comedians, but it just feels like something's missing. People can feel when some people can feel when something is missing. All right? So, and I feel like Dave Chappelle was kind of like a replacement for Bernie Mac, and the thing is, I saw a video. The name of the video, go look it up because it's quite interesting. The name of the video, I hope I'm not putting this guy on blast. I hope that's what he wants. I hope he wants people to see this video because sometimes people do shit and they're really not ready for the attention and shit like that. So I hope I'm not putting this guy on blast here. I'm hope I'm not blowing him up. So the name of the video is Dave Chappelle has worn a dress twice in his career. That's the name of the video. Dave Chappelle has worn a dress twice in his career. Now, mind you, there's a video I was talking about the other day, just the other day when Dave Chappelle went to Oprah, right, to start, spilling his guts to Oprah, right, which is just weird, especially if you say you're a conspiracy theorist. The last person you're gonna go see is Oprah. We like to joke. Everybody likes to joke because she's insanely rich, right? She's insanely rich. So, of course, we like to joke about Oprah. But at the end of the day, Oprah is not your mama. Oprah is extremely rich. Hello. So, anyways, um, you can't be rich like that and not have promises that you need to keep. Period. You can't be a talk show, an insanely rich talk show host, and you don't have promises to keep. I'm not saying somebody that works in real estate or that's a lawyer or those are jobs that you just get paid by your performance, right? Allegedly, supposedly. Well, that's what you're supposed to be paid on. And you're supposed in jobs like that, you're supposed to be paid on your performance, right? So it's very different when we're talking about like a talk show or a movie or an actor or you have promises, you have agendas that you need to keep on, whatever. So, anyways, he went on Oprah. And the funny thing is, there's a part in that interview where he says he doesn't understand why black actors need to wear a dress in order to, you know what I mean? And he did say he actually said that he would never wear a dress when he actually wore a dress twice in his career. And one of those times was a very popular movie, and the other time it wasn't. Now, the thing is, you might be like, oh, Dave Chappelle would never do something like that. Well, let's look at the fact here. Dave Chappelle movies are very different from Bernie Mac movies. Dave Chappelle was more on the, I'm not dissing nobody. Everybody has the right to have. I think white people are clever. I think white comedians are fucking funny. I think they're hilarious. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes they're trash. Sometimes they're pure garbage. But they're funny, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think black comedians are funny. But it's two different cultures. And you have to understand that it's two cultures, right? There's white people jokes and then there's black people jokes. So it's two different things. So what I'm trying to get at here is when you're looking at Dave Chappelle used to make white people jokes, right? And then you got Bernie Mac. So Bernie Mac was doing his locomotion thing, right? He was gaining traction. He was getting there. He was maybe making promises and also maybe breaking some promises at the same time. Because, like I said, he was unapologetically black. So, in his mind, maybe he wasn't doing anything wrong because he understood life or he understood people or he understood how shit goes. So, he played his card the way that a man like he is supposed to play his cards. Hypothetically speaking, I'm speculating here, right? Because I don't know the man. I don't live with him. You know what I mean? But look at his career, and the career says something too about the person a little bit, So, and then you look at Dave Chappelle. So if you're looking at Dave Chappelle had no qualms listening to what these people told him to do. At the end of the day, I don't like Dave Chappelle's old movies. I hate Half Baked. I don't know why people love Half Baked. It's a stupid movie. It's stupid. It's not funny. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid movie. I don't care. I don't believe. Oh well, it's a pothead. No, there's no amount of weed that's gonna make you think that movie's funny, unless you're white. Maybe if you're white and you look at Half Baked, maybe that shit's funny. To me, it's not. I don't see what's funny in there. It's just stupid. But we have different opinions. Like comedy is subjective, right? Like some people find certain things funny and other people don't, right? So that's my opinion. But I don't think as a man of logic, right? As a man of logic, I fail to see the funny bits in Half Baked and in other Dave Chappelle movies. As a matter of fact, I think Dave Chappelle started being funny after Nutty Professor. That's what I feel like. I feel like after Nutty Professor, that's when he started being funny. When he started actually being in black movies, I feel that's when he started being funny. He did do what did he do Pootie thing? I think he was in Pootie thing. But anyway, same thing. The Pootie thing was made by a white person. The Pootie thing was hilarious. By the way, Pootie thing was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. White guy, right? So I don't know if you're following here, but there's two. We're speaking about two different auras here, right? We're talking about an aura, a blackish aura, and then you're looking at a white-ish aura, right? And it's not fair for white people for me to say white people, but let's not be afraid of words here a little bit. I think you're smart enough to figure out what I'm trying to say here, right? Yes, I'm saying Dave Chappelle's a puppet. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Dave Chappelle always been a puppet, and he's still a puppet today. And maybe what happened was when he got offered that $50 million, that was too much. Maybe maybe that was too much. Maybe it was because it's like the other day I was thinking by myself, right? The other day I was thinking, and I was like, man, I could probably make a movie for like $20 million, right? Probably less, maybe $1 million. Who knows? I could probably make a movie for $20 million, right? And then I'm like, I'm watching, and then I'm kind of like, I'm watching like how much money did it take for certain movies to be made. Some movies are made for 170 million, 200 million, 300 million. And I'm thinking like, what if somebody gave me 300 million? What if somebody gave me 300 million to make a movie? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, I don't know what I would do with $300 million. I don't know, like, I don't think I need that much money to make a good movie. I would be very surprised, like, because it's a lot of money. So my little human mind, right? My common man human brain that's never seen $300 million in his fucking life is like, what the fuck am I gonna do with $300 million? Like, what kind of fucking movie am I gonna make? Because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, if I make the best movie, okay, I'm gonna put explosions. There's gonna be some fake guns. There's gonna be some prop guns and shit and some shit like that. It's gonna be like some cool action movie. But I still don't see where I would actually spend 300 fucking million, right? So I guess if you're doing a comedy show and you're not getting paid that much for the comedy, like, you would do it for free, right? You're the kind of person that would, you love comedy, you love, what you're doing. You would basically do it for free, and the money just helps you do it more, right? The money just helps you make better things, right? So and the Chappelle Show was an independent show. The Chappelle Show was an independent show, right? And I feel like that was the start of the BS. Because that's when Bernie Mac disappeared. Bernie Mac had a TV show at the same time, but it felt like that's where people started to forget about Bernie Mac, right? It feels like he was slowly and gradually being replaced. Right, he was slowly and gradually being replaced. And we're sitting here. It's like the other day. I'm like, he was looking at Jesus, and then he comes out of fucking Africa looking like Zeus. I mean, there's just something fishy. There's something fishy going on. Some people know what's going on. Some people understand it. Some people are complete denial. Some people are with the shit. So there's going to be, if we're having this conversation after this video, if we have this conversation, you got to understand that you are facing 4 different mindsets. You're facing 4 different mindsets, and that's where you need to stand your ground. You need to stand your ground, and you need to know what's really going on, and you need to be aware of what's going on, and you need to understand that some people are with the shit. You need to understand that some people don't understand the shit. Some people are very aware of the shit, and some people would like to know what the shit is. So you're different with four different characters, right? And the energies get convoluted because most of the time we get super politically correct. We sitting there and we're sitting on the fence, right? We're sitting on the fence about shit, and the conversation just goes awry, right? It goes awry because people are scared of other people, because people are scared of talking. People are scared of the truth. They're scared of realizing what is wrong and what is right. They are afraid to find themselves on the wrong side of the track, So I believe that the whole Dave Chappelle shit was actually a psyop to replace Bernie Mac. That's what I think. And where's Bernie Mac today? I'm not saying they killed Bernie Mac. I'm not saying anybody killed Bernie Mac. That's not what I'm saying. I actually believe that he might have died from natural causes. I actually believe that. I don't think that people hated Bernie Mac this much. And it's not even about hate. It's all about that part of the garbage that's going on. That's about money. Those royalties and, family bloodlines and blood ties and, keep it in the family and stuff like that. And Bernie Mac, I don't feel like Bernie Mac would have joined I think Bernie Mac would have joined that shit only if he could be himself, which is not the choice that these people give you. Because Bernie Mac never wore a dress. Bernie Mac never made purely white comedy movies. You would never see Bernie Mac ridicule himself in front of other people, right? Not that that's not funny to see a comedian be able to just do slapstick comedy, because when slapstick comedy is done well, it's pretty funny, and it doesn't happen all the time. Slapstick comedy, like The Cable Guy or Dumb and Dumber, right? Those two movies are very slapstick, and they didn't pan out well. I actually like The Cable Guy, which is weird, because I actually like The Cable Guy. I think The Cable Guy but I like The Cable Guy not because it was a funny movie. I felt like it was a horror movie. It was a funny horror movie, so that's why I like it, right? It's not because it's funny. It's because if it was a horror movie, it'd be a pretty cool horror movie, Dumb and Dumber was just garbage. Nobody liked it. Even Jim Carrey hates Dumb and Dumber. It was bad, right? Allegedly, I heard they were gonna do another one. I don't know why, but whatever. So you have to understand, Hollywood does not make the movies that you want to see. It makes the movies that they want to make. They have a precise reasons why they do these movies. They don't. They could easily. I mean, let's stop the insults here. Some of these guys went to great schools. They have a great education, right? Of course, they have a great education because, or else they wouldn't be able to do the things that they're doing. Period. Right? They might be stupid with it. They might be full retard with it, but they did go to school and they did receive a good education. They had good professors. They had good books, good professors, like a good school, a great program, obviously, or else they wouldn't be able to do half of the stupid shit that they're doing, right? Because the half of the stupid shit that they're doing works, right? So you have to understand, when Hollywood makes movies, they make the movies that they want to make. Because there's a lot of movies that they could make that they will never make. Why? Because that's not the goal of these movies. The goal of these movies is to fuck with your mind. It's to fuck with your psyche, right? It's to tell you lies, right? So to create lies. Of course, there's always a bit of truth in the lie, right? So that's what people like me look for, right? When they see a movie, I appreciate good writing. I appreciate a good writer. I appreciate a good script. When I hear something that makes a lot of sense, I appreciate it, and I'm grateful to hear it, right? Most people just blatantly just doesn't don't want to know a goddamn thing, which is fine and good. It's healthy, because when I'm looking at, I'm taking a chance of polluting my brain with garbage, right? I'm taking a chance to pollute my mind with trash when I'm looking at something. So it is dangerous to do that. It's dangerous to think this way, right? Even though you're like, oh man, I got a filter. I can filter out all the garbage. I don't care, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, true. But you're still taking a chance of polluting your airwaves, right? You're still polluting your airwaves. Because if like the movie's 2 hours and there's only 40, 30, 20 minutes in there that's actually saying something worth listening to, or you're actually looking at 20 minutes of something that's actually worth looking at, you're polluting your mind, right? Nevertheless, Dave Chappelle basically said he never wore a dress. If you look at the video, Dave Chappelle wore a dress twice in his career. It's legit. He did actually wear a dress 2 times in his career. So I'm seeing that, and I'm calculating all the movies that were done more on the white side. And then there's the Chappelle Show, the massive attention that was put on the Chappelle Show. Like, I don't believe that these things are coincidences. I don't believe like an actor just becomes super popular and shit like that, because they do have humiliation rituals, like Ezra, like Miles Ezra, whatever his name is, the guy that plays the Flash. That was a humiliation ritual. Or Shia LaBeouf, humiliation ritual. Kevin Hart with his multiple cheating scandals, humiliation ritual. There's always, when somebody's about to come up, they humiliate them in order for them to come up, right? It's like going in the army. In the army, they break you down in order to build you back up. It's the same process, right? It's like therapy. In therapy, they do that too. They don't humiliate you, but almost, it's close enough. It's not humiliation, but you'll feel kind of humiliated because the person is like making you say all the shit that's within you. And it's just in therapy, the difference between therapy or magic, the difference between therapy and magic and spirituality is that you have to get rid of all of that shit that you've been keeping inside of you, right? In order to fill it back up with something better, right? So Masonry has the same process. Masonry has the same ideals, right? And you can't escape that ideal. So that's why I say magic too. If you practice magic, you will go through a weird kind of humiliation ritual. Well, it's not really a humiliation. Not in magic. It's not really. You might feel like that, but it's not really that, it's breaking you to build you back up, right? And the army to do the same thing. So when these actors start wearing dresses, it's a humiliation ritual. Even Kevin Hart wore a dress in a skit that was super not funny. It was like there was nothing funny about that skit. It was just Dave Chappelle. It was just Kevin Hart in a dress for no reason. There was nothing funny about it. It was just not funny, So that was a humiliation ritual. And then what happens after those things? Those guys become millionaires, right? Allegedly, they become millionaires. They're in more movies. They're this, they're that. Everybody sees them like they're fucking God or something, right? Look at Dave Chappelle. People see him as a fucking God, right? Every time somebody mentions Dave Chappelle, it's in the highest regard, right? That brotherhood shit, right? Because everybody's on board with the plan. It doesn't matter who it is. Even Cat Williams. Y'all think Cat Williams is on your side. Cat Williams not on your side. Cat Williams is just playing a role. All of these guys are just playing a role. It's just a role. And the worst part is, the other thing that's going on is that these people are kind of like, they're taking away your power. Like, they're taking away your truth, right? Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's doing what's right. It's not them. They're taking away your conversation. They're taking away your words. They say it themselves so that I'm sorry to tell you guys, there is money in being who you are. Okay, I know that's not what you want to hear because nobody's doing this shit for money. I get it. You're not telling the truth for money. I get it. I understand. But let's be real here. All right, let's be real for 2 seconds. Let's just be for 2 seconds. If you're doing a good deed, there's no good deed that goes unpunished, right? So if you consider money a bad thing, you're gonna get punished with money. You're gonna get punished with money. Why? Because people will listen to what you have to say. If you know the truth, if you know something, people are gonna listen to it. But the problem is, the reason why people are not listening to us right now is because they get actors, singers, whatever, people that are part of their brotherhood to say the shit that we are going to say before we say it, so that the attention stays on them regardless. Talk about it good, talk about it bad. Important thing is that you keep talking about it. You know what I mean? So a lot of these people, I'm not saying everybody does that shit. I mean, like, I don't think Orlando Brown's faking it. He doesn't look like he's faking it. He looks very disturbed. I mean, he might be, but the thing is, he's not. The problem with Orlando, the reason why I don't believe Orlando Brown's faking it, and I might be totally wrong about that. I might be totally wrong about it, right? But it's like he doesn't act like he's not part of the shit, right? Like he's telling the truth, but he's also telling you, yeah, I'm part of the fucking thing too. Like everything you see, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth, bro. Like like I might not like him. You might not like him, but he's not bullshitting about what he's telling the truth. Like he's saying, yeah, I'm part of the shit. I like her. I fucked her. He fucked her, and like there's all the details. Like all the details are there, right? So in Orlando Brown's, like if somebody is like Orlando Brown in that case, I don't know, or that other kid from B2K the other day, he was talking about how I don't know who, but they were getting peanut butter jellied, right? Everybody, like he said, everybody in B2K was getting peanut butter jellied. I don't remember who was giving out the peanut butter and jelly, but the guy Bun, I think Bun something. Anyway, that's weird. I don't know. That's weird because I think that's kind of what his name is. Not Bun B, but anyway, it's one of the kids from B2K, right? And he was like, he was going ball to the wall. And the thing is, I do believe that those things can happen because at some point, there's only so much trauma that a person can take, and if you get enough traumatic events, it's gonna slip out. If you've been through enough, shit, it's gonna slip out. I think that can happen. But mind you, it might not, and I could be completely wrong. I could be completely right about what I just said, and I could be completely wrong about what I said right now. So mind you, that some of these people that are trying to act like they're good people and that are telling the truth and shit like that, it's all part of the game. And it's stealing attention away from your business. It's stealing attention away from you. Because it's not a business. You're not doing it for a business. You're doing it you're not doing it for clout. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, you have to realize if, let's say this world was a perfect world, or let's say the Illuminati wasn't intelligent enough to think about replacing people, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not that they're intelligent. They've been doing that since forever. That's like they got it down to a science, right? They've always been replacing people, and they know how to replace people on a multitude of levels, right? So let's say this world was a perfect world, right? And they didn't know how to replace people, right? Or they never even thought about replacing people, or if they wasn't that good at creating these things, they would have just started to try to. Because the thing at the end of the day is, there's the difference between, okay, I'm gonna just call it, it's kind of genius. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of genius. Okay, there, I said it. You happy? I said it. It's a little bit. It's a little bit genius. All right. There's a genius behind that shit, right? Because you have to be a very high level intellectual to think about replacing people the way that they're doing it. It's pretty ingenious. It's ingenious. I'm not saying they're geniuses. I'm saying it's ingenious, and I can't. There's no other word. I have to. Anyway. Anyways, let's say this was a perfect world, because in the perfect world, people are not ingenious like that. They would try to replace you and they would fail. And even if it would work for a couple of months, a couple of days, a couple of years, and then it would fall off, right? So let's say that this was the case. Now, these people were just regular people doing bad shit, right? Do you really think that with all the shit that you know, with all the knowledge that you have, that you wouldn't have a bunch of people listening to you? And do you really think all those people would just look at you without giving you any form of compensation for your work, especially if it's dangerous? Hell no. That's nonsense. Yes, people would give you, like, you deserve that shit. Not because it's a business, not because you're greedy, not because you're crooked, not because you're corrupted, because you're doing a dangerous job, you're doing a good job, and you're doing a dangerous job, so you should be compensated at some time and point for the job that you're doing. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, a lot of people feel like this is normal. The way that their channels are going is completely normal. The way that their lives is going, it's completely normal. No, it's not. You're dabbling in magic. I don't care if you're a conspiracy theorist. I don't care if you're a lawyer, fucking doctor, I don't care. A scientist, it doesn't matter. If you're trying to root out the source of these evils that are being committed, you are now dabbling in magic. End of story. End of story. Because that's what these guys do. What do you call all this shit? Like, they're doing ritual. Okay, well, they're doing ritual. You're talking about a group of people, and that's a live thing. You know, there's a lot of people on YouTube. They be like, they're doing. Look at this. Look at this Super Bowl halftime show. It was a ritual. It was a ritual. It was a ritual. Yeah, you're right. But what are you saying? What are you into? Because you keep saying that's a ritual, that's a ritual, that's a ritual. You keep saying that's a ritual. You keep saying that's. So what are you into? I'm a conspiracy theorist. No, nigga. You're in magic. Whether you like it or not. What is God? What is Lucifer? If you're dealing with God and Lucifer, if you're in a spiritual battle between God and God and Satan, right? If you're in a spiritual battle between God and Satan, right? What are you into? I'm a fight for good. You're in magic, because you can't see God and you can't see Satan either. You can't see him with your two eyes. You're fighting forces that are not physically touchable. You can't. So what are you doing? You're dabbling in magic now. You're dabbling in magic, bro. You might consider yourself a conspiracy theorist. You might consider yourself a good person that doesn't do black magic, but you're learning about it, and you know enough to know that that's a ritual. Because you can't tell me that you don't know shit about magic. Because if you didn't know shit about magic, you wouldn't know that that's a ritual. Period. You would never notice. You would like, but you would say, oh yeah, the things that you would say would be. So you have to understand, these people are teaching you magic at the same time. You've learned. You have learned. You have evolved. Shit is fucked up, isn't it? And you didn't even notice. Maybe you probably didn't even notice, because if you were a normal person, you would say, oh, Super Bowl commercial stole $75 million from taxpayers' money to make this stupid ass. That's what you would say as a conspiracy theorist. You'd be looking at numbers. You'd be looking at facts, numbers, things that are tangible, paper routes. That's what a conspiracy theorist does. He chases paper routes. He chases money. Because following the money is the best way to find out who's corrupted and who's not. The number one way, and there's no other ways. It's the number one way, right? And then there's emails, documents of all type, blacked out documents, top secret documents. It's all hand in hand. But now people keep saying, oh, that's a ritual. Oh, that's satanic. Oh, that's satanic. That's a ritual. That's satanic. That's a ritual. That's satanic. That's a ritual. You're following magic. You ain't following the money. You're following magic. You're talking about things that we can't see with our own eyes. You're talking about things that we can't touch with our fingers. You can't touch magic. You can't touch rituals. You can't touch the energy that the ritual is trying to evoke. You can't see the thing that's trying to come out of whatever the fuck the ritual was about. You can't see it. You can't touch it. It's not possible. So what are you talking about? We're talking about magic. So anyways. The reason why I'm saying all this is nothing is impossible. Right? The reason why I'm saying that nothing is impossible, it is not impossible to think that they screwed Bernie Mac's career over to create Dave Chappelle. It is not impossible that people like Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, whatever, so on and so on, are just playing a role to take away the attention that is supposed to go to you towards them. Not Dave Chappelle. Not Cat Williams is not doing this for himself. Dave Chappelle's not doing that for himself. They are doing it for them. They are doing it for them. We're still talking about magic. Pulling a wool over your eyes, pulling a veil over your eyes. Anyway, this video is too damn long, and I'll see you on the next one. Think about it. Subscribe to my channel. Peace out. Have a good one.